Hello and welcome to the Breakfast Report. I'm your host, Breakfast Imam. I just want to say, if you want to follow me, just click on that subscribe button and hit the bell to get the latest update in your mailbox and your SMSs, whatever you do, that you're going to get the latest video from me as soon as I put it up. I've been pretty busy, so I will get to them as soon as possible. I want to start off by saying I am going to be doing a collaboration video with Lionel Mandrake of Mandrake Radio at Mandrake Radio. I hope we can do that soon, get something up and running. I would love to do that. I was featured on a show, and he will be on my show fairly soon, hopefully. If we can put a time on it, that would be fantastic. Let me start out by this positive story, because I always want to start out with a positive story, because there's so much crap in the world. So, there was a teen that, by the name of Johnny Crow, turned 16. I will put the links in the description below. Today.com put out this on June 24th, 2017. Now, Johnny Crow turned 16, great age. He was taken in by his sister to his normal guitar lesson, and he was surprised because his father, who had died, set him up with a brand new guitar. And it is very touching. When you watch the video, they have all the information up there, so you can read it yourself. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that before I got into my rant. Let's kick it off. Now, Oregon has become the third state, which I think is batshit crazy that there's any state that has now put an X for those who don't identify as male or female. And let me tell you, this is just crazy, because when I was growing up, we had effeminate boys and we had tomboys as, growing as more of a masculine female. And there's nothing wrong with that. My problem is that the left has taken it to a batshit crazy level. They want to talk about acceptance, but that's not true acceptance. Let me talk to you, if you are transgendered, if you feel like you're in the wrong body, I feel sorry for you, because you're not accepting yourself for who you are. You think that you are going to be happier in another body, but you're not. Because statistics show that those who do go through full sex changes could still commit suicide in large numbers. They're still not happy because they still can't accept themselves for who they are. This has nothing to do with how society views them. And a lot more people are accepting of trans people now than they were years and years ago. And they're still committing suicide. This is a result of non-acceptance of who they are. And if you were to really accept yourself for who you are, you would be happy in your own body and realize that your personality and who you are inside is more important than the body you were given. Now, my point of view is that I think, personally, it's wrong. But if you want to do that, if you want to go get a sex change, don't put it on the taxpayer. Don't get somebody else to pay for it. You pay for it yourself. And I think this is the main thing that the left ignores about conservatives. It's not that we're not fully accepting of trans people or what have you. It's that as long as you, at least for libertarians, okay, as long as you're not charging everyone else and getting everyone else to pay for it, we don't care. We don't care what bathroom you use as much as, and I could go into that a million years. That's another thing, is people do not care about trans people using the bathroom. It's the fact that people, sickos, will use that to their advantage. Because right now there's no staple whatsoever, no guideline. It's how you feel at that moment. Every 5 seconds you can change your gender because on how you feel. That's not a guideline. People will take advantage of that and be like, well, at the time I felt like I was a woman, so that's why I was in there, and that's why I was taking pictures and blah, blah, blah. And people can't say no because, of course, who are you to quote-unquote judge? There's no logic in the left whatsoever. Now, everybody has their own little personality quirks, from if you're male, female, what have you. Everybody has their degrees of masculine and feminine side, and nobody gives a damn. If you really want to be accepting of yourself, and this is what gets me, you liberals go and say that, well, that's just the way that God made them. God wanted them to go and change their sex. No, if God wanted them to change their sex, they would be the opposite sex than what they already are. God made them the way that they are for a reason. They put them in a male body for a reason. They put them in a female body for a reason. That doesn't mean you're supposed to be the other sex. It's just, think for a change. You have to think clearly. And, you won't get logic from the left, because you get these same people who are feminists who say they're freedom of choice, but they're not. Because if a woman wants to be a mom or wants to choose their own path, guess what? They get belittled and they get berated. You're not having a career, and, you're having kids and blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous. It's anti-choice. And, the left has utterly lost it. They've lost their heads, which you can see from the G20 summit. Speaking of which, Germany is burning right now. Germany was burning, I should say. It's over now. But Europe is burning right now, because Antifa has completely taken over. They've been destroying everything in America. And they're paid by George Soros, and they're all over, just like they were paid, just like he was paying Black Lives Matter to destroy everything, which Black Lives Matter was a joke and a terrorist organization. And have you noticed how they've dropped off a lot? There's very few of them left. They're nowhere near, because the whole point of Black Lives Matter was just to distract everybody from what was going on. It was to divide and destroy this country, because they don't really give a damn. They never gave a damn, because there was a black cop who was shot and killed. And what did the Black Lives Matter do? Absolutely shit. Jack shit. They don't care. There was a drive-by a drive-by shooting in St. Louis. Shot an 8-year-old little girl. Where was Black Lives Matter there? Where's Black Lives Matter talking about black on black crime? They want to talk about Whitey getting shooting a person that, which oftentimes they get wrong. They don't even have the full story, the full true story. Like, they get their information from CNN. It's absolutely, they don't think, they don't care. The whole point is to divide and rip this country, destroy this country. Because that's the way that you take over a country. You undermine and you destroy and you set up a bunch of groups to pretend like they're protesting, like they actually mean something. The Wall Street. You remember the Occupy Wall Street crowd, don't you? Completely dropped off the map. Who do you think supplied them with money? Who? Oh, I know, George Soros. Let me move on to the next item of business. Twitter is getting completely out of control with the shadow banning. Now, if you're not familiar with shadow banning, let me tell you a little something. There have been numerous, because Twitter is run by a bunch of leftists, so of course they arrange, and you can find information on this on TED Talks, on YouTube. You can look up the information yourself. They are purposely shadow banning, conservatives, which they deny, but they're doing it because a person that I follow, that I happen to talk to a lot on Twitter, the Zombie Ninja 420, he had another account. He had to get a new account because they shadow banned him for no reason. They gave him no reason, and they banned him. 10@10_GOP got banned. Why? Because stupid reasons. Twitter has also been known for undermining President Trump's supporters, deleting and burying things. Any support that the president gets on his Twitter is buried, and all the negative stuff rises to the top. That's not an accident, people. It's not an accident. Furthermore, Twitter has been known, they've been caught taking off trending lists. Conservatives reach the top trending list, and what happens? Whoop! Disappears off the face of the world, internet. That's my time. I'll see you next time, and God bless.